Video update day 21. There's one of the new shrimp. It's one of the egg carrying females. Pretty sure all the rest are female. See if I can spot one here. There's one. Sort of see the color of the saddle. Pretty active little guys, these shrimp. They all seem to be doing quite well. All foraging like mad. It's a big clash with shrimp in this whole section here with the shells. The mono shrimp and the red cherry shrimp. There was a clash last night, a little turf war. But it got settled down after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So all females, yeah. My sister picked these up in the city for me on her way through. And I talked to the guy and asked for a selection of males and females, but I guess he tried to pick out the healthiest ones, I think. Maybe didn't know, and he left the paler, smaller ones, which would be the males, behind, and gave me all these red, nice and large, female cherry shrimp. So that's that. Oh, and the assassin snail, also got that, and he's proven very peaceful. Goes out of his way to avoid encountering other snails. So, but I'm hopeful that he's just at exploring and his killer instinct will kick in and then he'll be on the hunt. And we also added a lot of Malaysian trumpet snails, and they gave me some big ones. I got a bunch that are over an inch. So I got them in the smaller tanks right now. I don't want them in here uprooting everything, those large trumpets. I'll burrow in the gravel and uproot all these stems. So just little trumpets in there for now. Hopefully the assassin keeps that under wraps. But now for the scape. What we're trying to do here is create a sort of a triangle effect. Here, this is all going to come up. And I've got like a corkscrew valve in the back there. And in the back over there. They want to be quite tall eventually. This middle, if you just watch the last video, you see it's so much shorter. That's closer to where I want to keep it. And so I put a lot of stems. I cut and put a lot of stems right back down in there. And I'm going to short up the front of that. We're thinking stargrass. Nice and short. Give us a dense sort of hedge-like effect across the front of that. And here, again, if you just watch the pre-trim video, I cut a lot of this Coriambosa. And I lined it in behind the coconut shells here. And I'm going to keep that nice and low. And sort of plane that up into the Cori and the Hygrodyformis up this way. And sort of parallel that triangular effect here again. But this one will come out closer to the middle of the tank. This one will be tucked away, so we'll be off-centering that is the plan. And the middle, I really like how the Inclinata and the Rosennervig work together when they're planted nice and dense. On this side here, the Ludwigia repens is looking great too. So I also spell crowns of those species, and then stargrass below. And then open foreground, room for some smaller plants and some carpeter. And this cascading up. Now you can't see it, but there is Hygrodyformis back there. I cut it down really hard in this section for a reason, because the valve's coming back, but it's coming back so slow. And I think it was getting choked out by all the Diformis that was growing in here. So I cut the Diformis back pretty hard. It's still in there if you look from top down. It's getting light. I'm sure it'll come back. And then this red plant here was not part of the plan. This was something that was shipped to us in lieu of something else. But I've noticed there's a tendency of doing this a fair bit. Oh, come on, focus. Branching off the stem. So what I've done is I've topped a whole bunch of these throughout the tank. So I had some on the left here. I left that one alone. I topped the ones I had in the middle. And I topped all the ones I had on the left. And I planted them all front left here. Now the idea is to keep this nice and short. I'm just going to keep cutting it, keep cutting it, keep cutting it. And hopefully encourage more and more of that splitting off the side. Because I do like the plant and it's proven to be pretty resilient. It didn't melt nearly as hard as the Hygro Polysperma or the Val. And you can't even hardly see it with this camera, but it's got a wonderful color. So that's the plan there. So any feedback or suggestions on species? And up in here, next plant order, we're going to have a big lacy sword. Or the Madagascar lace, perhaps. Something of that nature there. Got to get our lily that was shorted, and it'll probably go there. Or up front here, depending what we do with the lace. And this side's pretty much done. It's just got to grow in. All that Val's got to grow in. And the Diformis layered in with the Coriambosa. And with some of the stems up the side there, a little bit of Ludwigia, a little Hygro Polysperma over there. And that's looking great. And new growth, Anubias, new growth everywhere. Pretty happy. This is dirt. It's a little cloudy. This is the cloudiest it's been in 3 weeks. And that's because I was in there this weekend chopping and cutting and moving. Uprooted a little bit over here to move this crypt over. Yeah. Oh, and this stuff down here, that's like the nursery. The Hygro Polysperma and the Hygro Polyrosa nervae melts like mid-stem. So these are tops and stuff from plants that were almost too far gone. So they floated for a while, developed a little bit of roots, so now I'm going to shove them in the dirt and see what happens. But the other little ones, front and center, they're mystery plants. They came with the shrimp, so I floated them in the beta bowl for a while. And they seem to do okay. And a really interesting structure on them. There's no way I'll get a shot of it with this little camera, but hopefully they grow bigger because they look really cool. Like they can have a really interesting leaf structure. So I'm curious to see what those might grow into. And that's where we're at there. So I'm pretty excited. Probably be placing a plant order here in the next week or so. And getting male cherries is on the agenda. Oh, there's the showcase female. The Battle of the Ball. Let's see if we can get a shot. I'll turn the other way. Silly shrimp. She's got the deepest color for the whole lot of them. I don't know much about cherry shrimp, but I think these ones are in pretty good shape. Some of them look fat. I swear there's these two fat ones with these big saddles, and they swim around non-stop. And I think they're looking for a mate. That's what they're doing. They're swimming around looking for all the guys. So that's where we're at. Stay tuned. Next video update in a little while. Oh, water chem's been great. I gotta test the parameters here in a bit. Probably do a small change with the bump and the bioload. But everything's been smooth. Check the next video.